In 1971, this issue was resolved. We call upon Southern Baptists to work for legislation that will allow the possibility of abortion under such conditions as rape, incest, clear evidence of severe fetal deformity, and carefully ascertained evidence of the likelihood of damage to the emotional, mental, and physical health of the mother. The Southern Baptist Convention, America's largest Protestant denomination, decided to push for legislation to allow abortion in a variety of circumstances, 1971. And they kept that position even after Roe v. Wade established the right to abortions. Because in the early 1970s, the religious right wasn't motivated by abortion. For the pioneers of the evangelical movement, segregation, even after Brown v. Board of Education, segregation was the animating force. But as civil rights gained traction with real enforceable legislation, segregation became a losing cause. And fighting it would cost conservatives elections. And then this happened.
6 years in the U.S. Senate and then out on one issue, the one political insiders said didn't matter.
I had voted for public funding of abortion. I'd refused to sponsor a constitutional amendment to support that, and my opponent said that he would. So it was a clear-cut case, one of the clearest in the United States, I think, in the Senate races.
The anti-abortion movement has political clout. That surprised a lot of journalists and political analysts who believed those people made a lot of noise, but not much difference.
In 1978, the incumbent Democratic senator from Iowa, Dick Clark, the favorite, lost because he wasn't sufficiently anti-abortion. At the time, pro-life activists having that kind of political power was unheard of. And it wasn't just Iowa. In Minnesota that year, pro-life Republicans won 2 Senate seats. Conservative activists saw what was happening, and they realized that abortion could pull together many of our fringe Christian friends. So that became the plan. Take evangelicals' anger over segregation and transfer that anger to abortion. Republicans fell in line. In 1980, Ronald Reagan campaigned for president on a constitutional amendment prohibiting abortion. It is one of the issues that catapulted Reagan into the White House, and it became a conservative fixation all the way through the presidency of Donald Trump, the man who forged a coalition with the religious right to secure its support and its dollars. The president who nominated 3 of the justices who helped end Roe last year, that president loves bragging about that particular fact.
That I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade after 50 years of trying. They worked for 50 years. I've never seen anything like it. They worked, and I was so honored to have done it. Nobody did a job like I did, including Roe v. Wade, bringing it back to the states.
But these days, and after yesterday night especially, campaigning on ending abortion does not appear to be the way to win. In Ohio, in Virginia, in Kentucky, everywhere abortion was on the ballot, voters handed decisive victories to Democrats. Opposition to abortion, that issue that unified right-wing religious groups beginning in the 1970s, turning them into a very powerful political bloc, that issue can now sink political fortunes. As they did in the 1970s when they pivoted from segregation to abortion, the right will need to coalesce around another wedge issue, and soon. Because abortion will likely be on the ballot again in several states next year, and that puts Republicans in a real bind.